So let me answer some of the questions na binigay mo sa akin sa Messenger plus your concern bilang part ng ating financial review annually supposed to be. And I'm glad that we had time now to talk about this. So if ever you do have concerns, if we could schedule a time na parehas workable sa atin, let's talk. Pero for now, let me address kung ano yung mga concern mo. So yung concern mo is for me to give an insight about your money discipline now and kamusta na yung pera mo sa ngayon. And then the second one is you are asking specifically on what will happen to your insurance na binabayaran kay AXA. So the unique financial story na sa'yo lang is kinuha mo to when you're still working here in the Philippines and kinuha mo to with the intention for growth. It just so happened that you explore a career outside the country and now you're living abroad. I'm not sure if you will be staying there for good or ito ba ay plano mo lang na mag-ipon tapos bumalik ka dito. So maybe we could talk about it. But that is the premise. Then I ask you some questions about your financial health. So let me give a feedback sa each line item na discuss doon. So first, you mentioned that your savings is 3 times or more na. So ibig sabihin yung salary mo times 3 na, naka-separate na siya sa savings mo. So it means if you are if your expenses or living expenses is just half of it, kahit mawala ka ng trabaho for 6 months, you will be able to get by dahil ikaw ay nakapagtabi na. So that's good. Now, the second one is budget. You said you do have estimation and it's fine also. You don't have like the Excel or the money tracking app na binabantayan. Pero a rough estimate of inflow and outflow is a good discipline already because you are in a position na okay naman ang inflow mo, nasusustain naman lahat ng expenses as long as you do have like ballpark figure na pwede mo magamit. So, you will get by as well pagdating sa budgeting. Though, I'm planning to improve this as part of my advice. Now, pagdating sa income, you're in a good position. Consistent ang income mo because you do have job. So, stable. Now, you are in the right age na binibuild mo dapat yung finances mo. In the future kasi, kung palagi natin mag-retire ka or mag-shift ka ng career or bigla ka mawala ng trabaho, it will become a money challenge. Pero now that you are in stable, so na position pagdating sa income, it is better for you to have like a system to maximize kung ano yung natatanggap mo. Now, pagdating sa expenses, you do have estimation, kagaya na na-mention ko kanina, and it will help you with your budgeting. Pagdating sa debts, you don't have personal debts, but you do have property acquisition. I'm not sure kung bahay to or lupa, real property man yan, or personal property. Some of the people, they treat this as an investment because, syempre, magkakaroon ka nga ng property. Pero in money management kasi, nakikita natin yun sa liability as kung hindi man yung magbibigay sa atin ng income. So it means that the money is already in the sinking fund. Hinuhulog mo na lang siya and the expected return is through the use of it. Kung bahay to, titirahan mo siya. Kung kotse to, magagamit siya. We will be considering this money na hinuhulog mo na hindi debt, hindi utang, kung kumikita siya. For example, you put up an Airbnb, tas nagbibigay na sa'yo ng income ngayon. So, we might consider it as an investment, pero for now, it is considered a debt. Now, pagdating sa insurances mo, you mentioned na you do have work insurances and you do have insurance na kinuha sa akin. So, yun nga hindi discuss ko later. Pagdating sa investment, you said you do have currency-based investment. So, yun yung mga nagpa-fluctuate yung value. I'm not really sure if you do have bonds, stocks, cryptocurrencies, etc. Pero if you're talking about the AXA, yes, it is considered a mutual fund investment. So, okay naman na meron kang ganito and I'll be discussing it later. And then pagdating sa wealth, you said that you're already secured. When we say secured, meron ka ng proper emergency fund na no matter what happens, hindi malalatal yung buhay mo. So it's good if you're secured. And if you're free, better. It means kahit hindi ka na magtrabaho, buhay ka na for the rest of your life. So either of the two, nasa magandang position ka naman talaga ngayon to improve your finances, to have a plan. Okay? So let me address first your preliminary concern about your accelerator. Your accelerator is a VUL plan. So meaning, it is an insurance with investment. Most of the money that you're putting into this investment vehicle is intended for growth. Pero, pagpalagay natin 10 piso yung pera mo, 2 nilalagay sa insurance, yung 8 nilalagay sa pagpapalago ng pera. Now, you are paying for that insurance 30,633.24. So, you're paying 30,000 each year, pumapatak na bandang 2.5 to or 2.6. And then, you are to pay this for a very long period of time. Now, ang maganda dito sa plan mo, ang ang surrender charge niya kung saan pag nag-withdraw ka partial or full, binabawasan niya dapat ng insurance company if you are going to do that for the first 5 years. Pero lumampas ka na sa 5 years kasi 2019 ka nag-start eh. So 2024 tapos na yung 5 years. So the account value that you are seeing in your EMA is already an amount that you could withdraw partially or fully without any charges at all. Tinignan ko yung current mo na plan, tapos ang account value niya as of this date is 132,540. So if you plan to withdraw this because you're going to use the money, you can withdraw it ng walang bawas. Pero if i-withdraw mo siya, mawawala yung kaakibat niya na life insurance which is 150,000 and disability insurance of 150,000. Okay? So, ngayon, ang intention talaga ng mga ganitong plan is to accumulate fund. Ibig sabihin, mag-grow siya for a long period of time. So, if you're going to pay 5 years alone, in your case, 6 years, nasa 180,000 yung binayad mo, but the amount is just 132,000. The reason kung bakit mas mababa siya, it's because binabayaran pa yung insurance. Pero, sooner or later, if ever man, iniwan mo na tong amount na to for the rest of the period hanggang sa mag-retire ka, this 180,000 na nilagay mo would accumulate into somehow like 300, 400,000. So, ganun lang kaliit. But if you're going to think of it, 180,000 lang yung binayad ko. Iniwan ko na matagal na panahon, nag-grow siya ng mga 2.5. So, 2.6, mga ganun. Kaya mga 400 to 500,000. But the idea here is for you to keep on paying the premium and increase the fund. Since ang iyong insurance is up to 150,000 lang, most if not all of your money na ilalagay sa mga susunod na taon ay may ilalagay na talaga sa investment at tuloy-tuloy siya mag-grow. Now, gumawa ko ng computation ng age mo. Pagpalagay natin na magre-retire ka at age 60. You're already 36 ngayon, going 37 sa December. Ang mangyayari is, nagbayad ka technically ng almost 30 years para sa plan na to. If you are paying 30,000 sa 30 years, you will be approximately putting 900,000 in your money. And the growth would be 2.3 million to 3 million siguro sa pinakamababang return. So, inassume ko na yung most conservative one so that you could not expect very much from this plan if you continue paying 2,500 pesos per month. But this investment vehicle has the ability for you to do top-ups. So, you could continue paying for it and it will grow exponentially. So, yun yung design no yung insurance. So, if you're asking me what is the best approach for this one is for you to stay invested. So, as long hindi naman kailangan talaga, I hope you continue funding up for your retirement. I encourage you to continue paying for it as long as you can hanggang sa moment na hindi mo na makaya. So, what happens kasi pag hindi mo siya binayaran? Now, if you won't be withdrawing anything from this plan and then you plan to stop paying for this, ang gagawin niya is yung 30,000 niya per year, kukunin niya sa current account value. So, let's just say, magjuju siya ng isang taon. So, kung hindi ka nagbayad, yung 100 na, how much yun? 132,000, babawasan na niya 30,000, tapos i-invest niya ulit. So, lumiliit yung investment mo hanggang sa maubos siya para ma-retain na yung 150,000 na yun. Though, hindi naman ibig sabihin no, na 30,000 talaga yung total na nababawas sa'yo. Kasi remember, kung hindi mo man mabayaran yung 130,000 na yon, it is as if you will just be paying for the insurance portion of it kasi i-reinvest naman yung premium na yon kung sakaling binawas. So, kung iwanan mo siya, ang mangyayari lang is sobrang bagal ng growth. More or less, pag nag-60 years old ka, baka itong mga binayad mo is nasa around 300, 400,000 lang. And it is not enough for retirement. That's why I encourage you na i-continue mo siya. You will be surprised na yung pa 2,525 mo, in pesos to parang if we are going to look at your life stage right now, you do have a greater income, pero that amount could surely be helpful pag kinailangan mo siya in the future. So, let's just assume that you're going to continue for it na paying hanggang sa mag-retire ka, assuming na mag-retire ka at 60 years old. Actually, pwede ka mag-retire any age. But if you're going to retire hanggang 60 years old na binabayaran mo siya, this could be millions and not only 1 million, 2 million something, 3 million to 4 million. And it depends on the market. My assumption that I'm discussing to you is at the lowest point, assuming na bagsak yung economy ng Philippines from pinakamababa hanggang sa pinakamataas. So, ang suggestion ko is for you to continue. Kaso nga lang, at the end, yung 2.3 million siguro na pwedeng maging growth nito hanggang sa dulo ng 60 years old mo might still not be enough. So, you do have options to do top-ups. Pag sinabi natin top-ups, na on top of paying the 30,000, you do have extra cash and you wanted to put that into the retirement fund na binubuo mo, you could always use this policy of yours para diretso na yung pera mo. Bale, ang pinupunta nito is mutual funds. So, you could select also mutual funds na sa abroad if you are not confident sa Philippine stock market. And I could help you choose kung saan pwedeng ilagay yung pera mo. Whenever you will be making top-ups, you could do that in your app or in our web, AXA Web, yung Emma. And you could buy plenty of stocks. And again, I would like you to dedicate this as an advice to your retirement plan. Okay? So, yun ang pwede natin gawin para sa plan mo to continue paying for it and to do top-ups just for you to grow your retirement. Now, ang assessment ko sa current money mo is you are in a good position. You are stable. Not only stable, you are secured and even free according to your assessment. But I cannot give like an opinion with regards to your budgeting. It's because you didn't answer the budgeting portion. So, siguro, ipapakita ko na lang sa'yo, meron akong video na very specific siya sa budgeting and I hope you could watch it so that you could learn how can you do that. Kasi pag sinabi nating budgeting, meron nang pupuntahan yung pera mo pagka-receive mo pa lang. And mas madali siya siguro nung dito ka pa nagtatrabaho, so mas maliit yung kita kasi pagka tanggap mo nung pera, may binabayaran ka na. But this time, you're in the position kung saan yung kita mo, mas malaki na siya. So, mas magandang mag-start yung budgeting mo from the moment na na-receive mo yung pera mo, wala ka pang babayaran kahit ano, then pinarte-parte mo na siya. Okay, so I'll be linking the video na lang para mas madali mong maintindihan yung gusto kong sabihin pagdating sa budgeting. Now, ang need ng urgent attention mo for now would be first, yung budgeting system mo, kailangan maayos mo siya. If ever you are the type of person na binabayaran mo na lahat, tapos binabudget lang yung natitira, I want you to change that. Kailangan the moment na na-receive mo yung inflow, you are already set kung paano siya mababudget kasi you do have rough estimate naman of all. So, alam mo na kung 20% living expenses ko lahat yan. 30% yung pangluluho ko yan. Ay, tatabi ko yung 40%. Something like that. Okay, so yun yung urgent na kailangan mo lagyan ng attention. The second one is establishment of sufficient emergency fund. Ang emergency fund is different than health fund. Ang emergency fund is something na magagamit mo pag biglang nagkaroon ng emergency. Like for example, nawalan ka ng trabaho, nasira yung bahay mo, something the likes. But it is not actually enough to sustain you medically. Well, you are a nurse, you know that. So, kailangan mo lang ng proper amount there. The proper amount is just 6 times, siguro maximum na ng 12 times ng kita mo ngayon, yung emergency fund. Now, you said that you do have 3 times already dedicated for emergency fund. So, what I would like you to do is to come up with an account na ang title niya lang is emergency fund. So, ilagay mo doon yung preliminary balance na gusto mong ilagay. Times 3 of your salary would be good. Tapos, lagyan mo lang ng parang every time may inflow. 5% ng 5%, lalagyan mo lang yun. Okay? Tapos think of it like an emergency stash of money talaga. Hindi mo siya gamitin kahit ano. Basta may emergency fund ka lang. So that is my suggestion to you. So lagyan mo ng urgent attention yon. Preliminary balance at dedicated percent. Kahit 2% lang yan, 3%, 5%, huwag mo masyadong lakihan. Kasi ang inflation, kinakain yung pera. Tapos, pag ang interest mo sa savings account is mas mababa sa inflation rate ng isang bansa, ibig sabihin yung pera mo natatalo. So, kailangan mo lang ng enough amount doon. And enough amount is 6 times to 12 months siguro of your salary para medyo malaki-laki naman yung amount na yun. But it doesn't necessarily mean na kailangan ngayon ganun dapat siya kataas. Lagyan mo lang ng target. Like, kunyari, hindi, 6 months makakahanap na akong trabaho pag bigla ako nawala ng trabaho. So, 6 times is good. Pag 3 months, kaya mo na maghanap na panibagong trabaho, 3 times is good. And then, a small percentage of it, ilagay mo na doon. Okay? Now, pagdating naman sa insurance mo, I didn't have the copy of your work insurance. If you could send it to me, I could give feedback. Pero you have to see how sufficient it is to cover you if you got sickness o kaya illness na kung hospitalization ba yan, is it a critical illness fund? Kasi iba pa yun eh. Pag nagkasakit ka, pwede mo magamit yung support ng government o kaya yung insurance mo para wala kang gastos sa hospital. Pero pag matindi yung sakit mo, it means you cannot work. So yung pondo para sa recovery stage ng buhay mo, maganda pag may support ka kasi I know that you do have partner. Pero if ever man, that is the purpose of critical illness fund. Magkaroon ka ng pera na panggalaw for medication and all na hindi sinagot ng mga card mo. So, critical illness is a good plan for you. So, review your insurance and you could just send it to me so that I could give feedback about that. And last but not the least, yung all money excess mo. Pag gumawa ka ng budgeting, marami kang mga pondo na extra pa, ilang percentage yon, you have to identify it. Siguro kung magbibigay ako ng advice sa'yo, first is yon, budgeting, ayusin mo yon. It is better to have a system whenever there is an inflow than just budgeting kung ano yung natitira. Now, the second one is mag-decide ka ng emergency fund kung ilan yung preliminary balance. Tapos lagyan mo na lang ng percentage every inflow. Lalaki din yon. Basta enough lang na hindi matatalo sa bangko yung pera para mapakinabangan mo. And lahat ng excess fund mo, lagyan mo ng purpose. If you want to put up a house here in the Philippines, separate fund siya. Retirement, separate fund siya. Okay? Kasi magkakaibang investment vehicle, magkakaibang return. So, kailangan very wise ka kung saan siya ilalagay. Okay? So, I think that would be my preliminary advice to you. If ever man you wanted to dive deep sa mga advice na to, you could just contact me and ask me questions. Okay? I hope this helps and I wish you luck sa life mo dyan.